I'm thrilled to introduce to someone who, in a very short space of time, has become one of the most familiar faces on television. Hardly surprising when you think that viewing figures for The Apprentice is about 8 to 9 million viewers per episode, which is about 35% of the viewing public. So it's a huge TV programme, as you know. Nick first came across Lord Sugar when Nick's agency was chosen to represent Amstrad. Nick's become a very good friend of VMA Groups and VMA Group before, so I'd like to thank you very much for that. So if you'd like to welcome Nick to the podium.
Thank you very much. It's actually 10.3 million. Right. It's great to see Tim again, the most worthy winner of The Apprentice, a great man and somebody who really deserves our support whenever we can possibly do it. Great character. Rolling back the clock a bit, I joined a PR company back in '66. I told my father I was going into PR. He looked at me. I thought he was going to call the police. Because in those days, it was rather like admitting that you had just taken up a fledgling career in burglary. Now, old pioneers who get first at Cambridge, go into PR and then ease their way effortlessly into number 10. How times have changed. Anyway, '66, I joined and a PR company that had been founded maybe 4 years beforehand. A wonderful chap called Michael Joyce, stayed with him, bought him out, and then carried on really. And it was a mildly successful venture, but it kept me and my family reasonably comfortably, yeah. And one windy day in 1983, I received a call from a chap called Malcolm Miller, who said, "I am the marketing director of Amstrad." I said, "Really? I've never heard of them." And he said, "You've been recommended to me, would you come and see me?" I said, "Yes." "Where are you?" He said, "Tottenham." I said, "You're like in the West End." So I went out to Garman Road in Tottenham to see this chap. It was Sugar's company. I read up a little bit about it, but not much. And he said, "Now look, we're in the hi-fi business, cheap end of the market, and we're going into the computer business with a home computer. It's going to be revolutionary because it comes with a monitor, and will you launch it for us?" I said, "Sure." He said, "Will you go away now and come back with some ideas?" And I went back to the office and forgot all that. I was very busy at the time, and I wasn't that interested, but I was rude and didn't sort of tell him at the time, lacking in courage. Anyway, he kept ringing up, and when you come in, and eventually, my secretary said, "You've got to go and see me now." So I said, "Tell him I'll go on Thursday." Not an idea in my head. Awful. And I got into the taxi and sort of said, "Well, no, what I'm going to do really is apologise. I've not been done anything. Make my apologies and leave." But on the way, I had a brilliant idea. It was the only one I've ever had. It was good. I thought, what I'm going to do is get a lot of 7-year-old children, and I'm going to call one, well, no, I'm not going to call them, they are called Ravel, Archimedes, Shakespeare, Monet, such and such. Each one whose name will represent a function of that computer. So I got to see him. I said, "No, I've been giving a lot of thought." And I've done a lot of research, and this is what we're going to do. And we did it. It was a huge success. We held it in the Great Hall at Westminster School. We had the city in, we had retailers in, we had press in. It was fantastic. Share price doubled. Sugar was there. I never met him. And as he left, he looked at me and grunted. High praise indeed. Is that right? High praise. And from that point on, of course, I was in, because that's the sort of chap he is. You last 10 minutes or you last forever. And I lasted forever. Thank you. Is that it?
That's about it.
That was a very long session.
Questions. Nick touched on the success of the programme and the viewing figures. What do you really put this down to in terms of the success and the number of people who mentioned?
It's magic, isn't it? It's magic. It's a very old magic. It's a magic in 23 countries now. Yeah. And the whole thing was kicked off by a guy called Stuart Burnett, a paratrooper in the Falklands, who got bored with yomping and killing people, and so he went to Los Angeles and came up with a format called Survivor, and then he came up with this, which he's now selling all over the world. And it's successful wherever it goes. I mean, in certain countries, the "you're fired" thing, which is in the contract, you can't say unless you know. In China or Japan, the thing comes out and it says, you must seek an opportunity in our field. It's in Abu Dhabi, it's here, it's everywhere. And it's the magic of engaging the people who are watching it in the sense that they know they could do that too. That's it.
I just wanted to confirm one of the things you said and then ask a question, if I may. First of all, the power of the programme that you're involved with on children. Both of my children have been watching the programme avidly right from the start. And one is 16 and one is 14. My daughter's quite a late comer to it, and the power of the programme is such that she's now changed her career ambition from wanting to be a pop star to wanting to be a businesswoman.
Really?
And I absolutely put it down to her following this current series of The Apprentice, so absolutely attest to the power of the programme in that. My question is about the education system, and I don't think that the state education system gives enough attention to entrepreneurialism and to business. What can people like yourself and possibly people like Tim do to increase the profile of business within the current state education system, because it's woefully lacking at the moment?
I think it's on the move, to be honest with you. I really, really believe it's on the move. There's been something called young enterprise in schools for some years. I think they suffered from a lack of significant funding, but very good people. Have you come across it from interest? Young enterprise? They go to schools and they form little companies and they actually train. And I think that's marvellous. I go to a lot of schools now. The interest in business and or the apprentice is extraordinary, right? And I think there is a huge move, a sort of a shift towards sort of business studies classes and things now. Yes. But you have to go and have a word with Mr. Gove or Grove, whatever your name is really. But I think there's a significant sort of drift or push into this sort of thing in schools now. But it's going to be formalised, hasn't it? That's the point. But anyway, we're doing our little bit. We go to schools and talk to them, yeah.
Thank you.
All of that is how much.
Nick, and my final question, Nick, is what's next? An invitation to Strictly, or what's the next?
Next is a fast place. I don't know what's next. Nothing's next. I'm off until July. What can you do?
Well, Nick, thank you very much for fascinating insights into the programme. Saying a very warm thank you very much to Nick for taking the time out of a very busy schedule to give that insight. And also thank you very much to you all here for attending, and wish you all a very peaceful and joyous Christmas. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.